Hey everyone, welcome back to another market closing live stream. So markets are moving back up, and now the big question is this a bull trap? We've got the Dow Jones right now up about 0.2%, S&P up 0.83, and NASDAQ Technologies up 1.14. Even the Russell 2000 up 1.46 right now. So you've got a recovery, pretty much a broad-based recovery. That volatility index coming back down about 15%. Pretty incredible move to see, especially given that really none of the uncertainties that have been leading to the sell-off this week have gone away. We are still uncertain about supply chain shortages, about COVID and the Delta variant shutting down our ports or shutting down potentially businesses. Still concerned about the potential overvaluation of some markets. Also still concerned about the impact of the potential Fed taper, or I should say eventual Fed taper, since we do expect that to begin this week. Although I'm more focused on when rates would go up than a Fed taper. So a lot of the concerns that have led to the sell-off this week still present. Kind of interesting, but obviously markets looking for places to park their money, which sort of makes sense because the stock market has just been a great place to park your money. So let's talk a little bit about some specific stocks. A couple housekeeping things just worth mentioning. That if you go to metkevin.com/public to get that free stock, it is worth up to $70. Some of you have been getting some pretty nice stocks. You could also get fractional shares, so you could get up to like $70 worth of Tesla or whatever, right? So that's pretty neat. So go to metkevin.com/public to get that, and check out that 40% off Jack's birthday coupon code link down below. Pricing will go up on August 31st. Okay, and that's for the programs, of course, I'm building with. So with this out of the way, let's go ahead and get into some of the tickers and see exactly what the heck is going on in our market right now. So right now, we've got a lot of green, and we do have some red, but the red's not very deep. See, even Snowflake has recovered here. I'm just removing sort of the volatility index here. So this makes our low of the day really here. Snowflake at 4.88% of the ones that we've been tracking. MP Materials has slipped down to about 31. This is really where it has been trading sideways for quite a while, in fact. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, I guess maybe not exactly trading sideways because we did have this downtrend and this uptrend, but it just feels like it's always right here around the lower 30s. So I think if we drew sort of a larger channel and took out some of the extremes, the channel would be somewhere between $29 and maybe $37. That'd be pretty much where the range bind is for MP right now. So Mind Medicine, this is another interesting one that has actually fallen quite a bit under the channel lines right now. Which these actually not, we haven't channeled here, rather I should say these are more support and resistance lines that we drew for here. But Mind Medicine at $2.56. This particular one has did fall to around $2, right around $4.20, right before it sort of exploded here. Excuse me. It did sort of this run up here was very momentum based, in my opinion. I think the future of psychedelics is it does exist, but certainly more reliant on government than anything else. Approving these sorts of drugs. I wouldn't be surprised if you get a big surge if you got some kind of new FDA approval here. But seeing how difficult it is for the government to legalize cannabis, sometimes I get a little nervous just about pharmaceuticals in general. That's why I think you're also seeing this sort of sell-off on cannabis-related stocks. They're sort of just depleting here over time. Okay, looking at other things, we got Alibaba still negative. We're in the 150s now. On Baba, Baba doubled your account today on puts. Oh my gosh, it must have done some like weekly puts or something in order to have a 2% movement double your account. Yeah, I mean, look, if you had some weekly puts, maybe. So that's interesting. Then we've got let's see, Faraday Future back under $9. American Airlines sitting at 18. Looking sort of at the history here, American Airlines being at 18, we saw this in July when COVID really started becoming a fear. Otherwise, we haven't really seen 18 since November, December. So nice to see some potential discounts here. Although you have to be careful because maybe we're only seeing that discount because we are going to be up against some pretty much bad pricing and bad viewership or usership rather, not viewership. Oh, this is interesting. 100% rent collection from our casino clients.
In America, but frankly, one of the largest resorts in America of any kind.
I love casinos. I mean, I think we should. That's why I think we should legalize gambling in California. But boy, oh boy, yeah, Hood is hurting today. I think it certainly bothered me. And somebody mentioned this earlier today. The reference of a lot of their revenue, or a portion of their revenue coming from Dogecoin, a large portion of their crypto revenue coming from Dogecoin. Not exactly, I think, a very bullish thing for Robinhood, but a little over concentrated, I would say. So let's see here. Yeah, but in terms of other, trades here to the downside, there's nothing that's necessarily, in my opinion, too extreme here. Shift Technologies, though, almost bleeding down to about $7 here. Here's just been one that's it had a little bit of a run about a week ago. Last couple of weeks, I closed some call options on it. And but yeah, it's also stuck in this. Really, a big concern for Shift Technologies is if you end up with the supply chain constraints lasting even longer, well, then the used car market begins to slow down as well, because you just can't get a hold of inventory. So because people who are selling don't want to be buyers right now, right? Very similar to almost real estate. Anyway, you don't want to sell your place right now just to be stuck being a buyer, because being a buyer is difficult right now. In other words, Wynn Resorts sitting at 88, really watching this sort of collapse here of pricing, which is, in my opinion, a great opportunity. I mean, we saw this pricing in August of last year. We saw this in June of last year. So it's incredible to think that you could get some of this lower pricing here on something like a Wynn. And I haven't bought yet. And let me take a peek here. If I sell some puts, let's just go to January, for example. If I sold some close to at the money puts, and I sold, yeah, I mean, that's not bad. Look at that. I could get $11,000 on a $90,000 investment. Obviously, you could divide this by 10. You could just do one contract. But, so if for, in other words, you put $9,000 of collateral in, you could get $1,100. Now, you'd be stuck with that till January, unless, of course, you close the contract earlier. But let's say if I go to January, you'd basically get half of that. Oh, sorry, going to September 17th. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Let me see if I go to 87. Then it falls down a little bit. 85 gets you 2,800. Yeah, but look at that. So if you go with a $90 put, so you'll buy Win if it's under $90. This would be like if you got executed buying it for 85-ish, and you'd be getting $5,000. I'm sorry. Let's put one in there to make it a little simple. You get $505 for putting $9,000 up for 28 days. You'd get you'd get that'd be about 5.6%. It's interesting. Okay, so yeah, Win to 75. I mean, personally, I am waiting for a sub 80. I don't know if it come, but if Delta keeps going the way it is, I don't think there's a rush to get in on the recovery stocks. Now, I do think that FDA approval coming out for the vaccines will boost recovery stocks for a bit, but this latest news about the falling efficacy of the vaccines and the need for boosters, certainly after 8 months, is again, it's still a good idea to get vaccinated to prevent the hospitalization or severe illness, but in terms of recovery stocks, I think that hurts because it's going to continue to lead to the acceleration of COVID cases. And when you accelerate COVID cases, you accelerate fear because investors are trying to protect themselves from risk, and Delta cases or just COVID cases going up, and deaths starting to go up. These are signs of risk or evidence of risk for earnings going forward. DocuSign 286. I can't believe they ran over 300. I still can't believe they're this expensive. Thoughts on the NFT market? That I feel like that movement right now is over. Like, just being transparent and honest about it. It's a little high. Yeah, no, Tattooed Chef, too expensive for me. It's one of the reasons I didn't like it anymore. But I think I've made my explanation for that really, really clear. That doesn't mean that, like, look, there are a lot of SPACs that are way worse, like, in my opinion, or even smaller companies, like for example, like Lordstown Motors. I would hands down rather have $1 million in Tattooed Chef than $100,000 in Lordstown Motors. just to maybe help explain how I feel. Yeah. Anyway, and that's almost just like a pure bankruptcy risk aversion. So NFT gaming market is just getting fired up. Maybe. Yeah, I mean, look, you could be right about NFT gaming. I don't know. I mean, it's a matter. Hey, speaking of Lordstown Motors, it's up 9.4% today. Hey, so doesn't change my opinion of it. And hey, maybe you get swing or day traded or whatever. MicroStrategy 5.5, Unity, NVIDIA. This run on NVIDIA is so incredible. I just cannot believe it that they keep going. They keep freaking going. You can't buy the dip on NVIDIA. It just keeps going. Well, okay. Sash, when you put it this way, the way you wrote it, you make me seem like a butthole. That's not very nice. Let's be clear. The executives have been bailing out of this company as fast as possible at the company. The executives have been dumping their shares to the point where one of the executives, like I think one of their chief officers, has like $7,000 worth of shares. Not 7,000 shares, $7,000 left. It looks like an abandoned ship. It looks like, I don't want to use the fra word, but it just doesn't look good. They don't have enough money to get their prototypes done, so they had to raise money just to get their prototypes done by the end of the year. They don't have enough money to go into production. They have a massive cash problem, and with the devaluation of their stock, their opportunities to raise cash in the future are going to plummet, because that's the point of the stock market, is to provide capital to businesses. The point of the stock market is not to make you money. It is to allow businesses to make money and raise capital. It's a liquidity purpose. It's a liquidity market is what it is. They're giving you ownership in exchange for being able to raise capital. And then, of course, we have all the secondary trading and speculation and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I mean, hey, maybe things have changed. But whatever. All right. Thank you. I'm glad, Ralph, that I'm background sound for your daughter. I will make sure not to scream too loudly so we don't wake her up. All right. Russell bounced off 2130 yesterday, just like in March, May 13th. That's a very interesting catch. True employment. Oh, well, Sasha, I'm sorry. Read. Do me a favor. If you're holding a big bag on Lordstown, just read their last earnings call. I haven't read it. Okay. So I'm not telling you to read it because there's something bad in there. And I'm not telling you to read it because there's something good in there. Just read it and see how you feel about the company after you read it. You just Google this, the right earnings call, or just listen to it. Right. Oh, Dave Buckley. Oh gosh. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at the Russ. Now, while I respect the lines, how do I get the Russell 2000 here? Russell 2000. Can I get it on Weevil? No, because it just kind of gives me like the spy version. If I go to the Vanguard, maybe? I mean, I could just go to the Vanguard version. I mean, it doesn't matter. It just tracks the Russell anyway. So May 13th, yeah. That was one heck of a bottom. So let's see here. Yeah, here's your May 13th bottom. You actually had almost that over here again in July, although even a little bit more. And yeah, similar position now. My concern is that you're going to potentially see this trend continue to worsen, specifically because of Delta going into the winter. I could be wrong. I mean, I hope I'm wrong because I don't want to see people lose money. But yeah, it's interesting. Okay, hold on a sec. I do want to mention really quick that I posted on here. I need to grab this really quick, so we'll just do it really quick together. If you go to youtube.com and you go to the Meet Kevin channel and you go to community posts, where is it? Why does it look all funny? Okay. If the browser could actually load correctly. There we go. So take a look at this. We just posted right here that we're doing 8 meetups and sort of like mini little rallies. They're really just meetups. We're going to be at Echo Park in LA at 6:30 today. And then Saturday we'll be in San Francisco, Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield. Sunday, Venice Beach, Newport Beach, San Diego. So check that out. If you want to go to any of these, the best thing to do is go to meetkevin.com. So go to meetkevin.com and RSVP so we can bring enough stuff right here. Just click the buttons where you want to meet up. But I'll be in these locations and would love to catch up. Be cool. Okay, good. So they're not going to be like long like rallies, and it's just more just like meet up. If you have questions, ask questions, kind of thing. Maybe we'll do like a town hall style Q&A or whatever. But yeah, nothing big or formal. Just super chill. Okay, good. So then we've got, what do we have here? Well, we got 9 minutes left in the market. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, Emran's running again. We got that momentum coming back to Emran. Look at that. Look at that bleed out on momentum here. Psh, you got a little bit of a recovery here. So pure momentum here. Lordstown Motors, kind of depressing. Just look at this bleed. I mean, it has just respected no line. It respected this on its one bounce over here, but that did not last. Well, let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and look at some headlines and see what we actually have going on in the world. Let's go to Bloomberg. Infinite money. Yeah, let's see. Oh, good. Yeah, you got 827 put. Okay, yeah, you get weekly puts on Bobby. Yeah, well, that'll do it. Okay, my opinion on Costco, pretty well priced. I couldn't like. I have a hard time seeing Costco exploding anytime soon, but I think it's a great company. Yeah, everyone's gonna show up with bandages and splints on their clicker figures. Yeah, hey, if you're if you send a message and you're one of the clickers, or if you want to be, go to metkevin.com/chat and send a message to Otta. Let's see. Let me get an update on our clicking. How is clear? How? I know. All right, so let's see here. We had Biden talk a little bit about stability of withdrawal from Afghanistan. We've got more talk about Tesla's AI and the robot. JP Morgan says Chinese stock sell-off is business as usual. Yeah, it's actually probably not untrue. Kaplan opened a shifting view on taper of Delta curbs recovery. Oh, yeah, I'll talk about bull trap in just a moment. So this is interesting. So Kaplan open to shifting view on taper of Delta curbs recovery. This is interesting. I wonder if this is potentially, because this happened about 3 hours ago. Let's look at SPY really quick to see if this published article had any kind of movement potentially in the market here. We're looking for a movement at 9:30 California time. So yes, look at that. Hold on one sec. One sec. Okay, sorry. So where were we? Okay, yeah. So that's interesting. That right here at 9:30 you had this run up. Yeah, take a look, and not much, but you did have a little swing up here, and that kind of helped push us a little bit. That's pretty good. So let's go to Bloomberg over here, and let's see what the details are here. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, give me 1 second here, but I do want to see what's going on with this shift. If you don't mind, give me 1 second. I just have to do this really quick. So let's listen to this really quick.
But it wasn't such a pretty picture for the week overall. The Dow and S&P 500 snapping a 2-week winning streak. The Dow down 1% overall. The S&P 500 down about 0.5%. The Nasdaq down 2 weeks in a row by 0.75%, as you can see from that. But Kroger was the S&P 500's biggest winner. The supermarket chain hit an all-time high this week after Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway raised its stake by 21% for the week. Kroger up nearly 10%. Regeneron also has hit record highs. This week's NASDAQ winner after the UK approved an antibody cocktail developed by the company and Roche to prevent and treat COVID-19. That stock up 6.5%, but Boeing was the biggest drag on the Dow after a Russian airline pulled out of contracts for 20 737 MAX jets, and its Starliner capsule was pulled off the launch pad and sidelined indefinitely with a valve problem. All of that combining to hit Boeing for 9.33% for the week. Well, COVID fears one of the factors leaving the market sweating this week, but our countdown closer has the name he says is primed to cash in, that you can cash in.
All right, good. Sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed Fox Business there for a moment. I like Fox Business. CNBC, Bloomberg, all of them. I think they do a good job. So let's see here. Although sometimes Fox Business gets a little too political, I will give them that. So what do we got here? This is interesting to me. Kaplan opened a shifting view on taper. So the big question right now, the big old question is this a bull trap? Why would the market start going up again? That's what I want to know. Why would the market start going up if we have all of the same uncertainties that we had all week? We've been uncertain about COVID. We've been uncertain about Afghanistan. We've been uncertain about supply chain shortages. We've been uncertain about the taper. All of these issues have been an issue, leading the market to soften and then sort of sell off. Why all of a sudden are we seeing the market go up? Maybe this has something to do with it. Let's understand this. Kaplan, who is the Dallas Fed president, says he's open to shifting his stance on the taper if Delta curbs the recovery. So this is really interesting. Dallas Fed President Robert Kaplan said he's open to adjusting his view that the Fed Reserve should start tapering its asset purchase program sooner rather than later if the Delta variant persists and hurts economic progress. So this is interesting. So in other words, he's saying if Delta continues to suck and continues to create issues with COVID cases going up, then maybe we don't taper yet, which is kind of crazy because we're already pumping money into the market like crazy. And this essentially would continue that $120 billion per month of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, which just seems wild. But personally, I kind of want to see the taper happen sooner because it lowers our inflation risk. If they're saying, hey, we'll wait on the taper, we'll just keep printing that funny money, then really potentially we're increasing the potential for eventual inflation and higher pricing. Kind of interesting. So I've got to be agile, open-minded, and avoid being rigid about if I saw that Delta variant was going to be persistent enough or unfold differently, say, than it has in other countries, the UK or India, and be more challenging to where it starts to affect demand. Okay, so in English, he's like, dude, if Delta goes bad, I'm going to change my mind. Let's see. I've got to take into account. We'll adjust my views accordingly. Most Fed officials. See, this week we also got the Fed minutes, which were a little bit more hawkish on tapering, which hawkish means like they're more interested in spending less money and printing less money, being more conservative, fiscally conservative is often deemed as hawkish, like a deficit hawk, right? But this is fascinating because now he's basically saying, hey, even though the minutes said that, we're open to U-turning. Okay. So let's see here. Yep, we talked about the minutes. COVID cases have spiked across the country. We've got a month or so to see how this all unfolds. Interesting. So what they're saying is in September, towards the end of September, they're going to decide. This is actually a potential catalyst moment where maybe if we have a dip, we would see that dip between now and the 20th, maybe of September or mid-September. And then what if in mid-September, the Fed goes, you know what? We decided we're not going to taper this year. Does that potentially push us into a euphoric rally? Does that mean today's bull trap is not necessarily a bull trap and that maybe the market's trying to potentially price in, oh, sweet, we might still have funny money for a while? That's very interesting. So let's go ahead and hit the bell really quick, and then we're going to come back to this because I want to keep talking about this. Let's go ahead and hit the bell, and we're going to do that right here. Here we go.
The whole energy.
Everything green.
Probably the worst performer, down 7% or so. The dollar today is down a little bit. It's been strong though this week, up 1% this week. Oil, terrible performance both today and this week, down 2.5% today, down 9.5% for the week as a whole. And the 10-year yield ending at about 126 for the week. As the bell goes, we're higher by 1.2% on the Nasdaq, 0.8% on the S&P, and 0.65% on the Dow.
All right.
Best day for the NASDAQ in about a month. Strong close. Welcome back, everyone, to Closing Bell. I'm Sarah Eisen here with Wilfred Frost. Take a look at how we finished up the day on Wall Street.
Let's give Sarah
near session highs, up 224 on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Microsoft, the biggest contributor, along with Home Depot, Salesforce, and Goldman Sachs. Biggest drag was Amgen, Intel, and Coca-Cola. S&P 500 up 0.8%, building on some gains we saw earlier in the session. Every sector closed the day higher. Technology was the leader. Utilities up there as well, with communication services. Staples, the underperformer, but not for the week. It was kind of a reversal of what we've seen all week, where the defensive.
This is interesting. You know what they just did is they just let the bell happen. Now they don't try to talk over the bell anymore. And they finally, after 2 months of CNBC talking over the bell, have decided to let the bell happen and then tell you what the market did. So you could actually hear Sarah. Congratulations, CNBC. This is a big moment. We could finally hear you at the closing bell. That's awesome. So look, obviously very green. This is interesting. This is interesting. It's this particular article is what's leading to this green right now. This is fascinating. Let's go back to this because that's what we're seeing here. While the U.S. unemployment rate fell to a pandemic-era low of 5.4% in July, vaccines rose to a record. Okay, great. Highlighting businesses' persistent struggles to hire enough workers. So we continue to have the worker shortages, continue to have childcare obligations. We do have enhanced unemployment benefits ending September 4th, but that could potentially put more of a struggle on folks, reduce the cash people actually have on hand, while at the same time the Fed doesn't potentially taper. Gosh. See, everything is contingent on Delta right now. And the market is, I think, excited today over the potential that, okay, yeah, Delta might be here more, but you're saying you're going to give us some more of that stuff? Which is really interesting. So when I weigh the efficacy of that versus side effects, that's why I've said that we'd be a lot healthier to start weeding off these purchases as soon as we're able to. I don't know how effective these purchases are at this stage. Right, exactly. So he's still leaving that skepticism up, but this is a big piece right here to suggest that, hey, maybe if Delta goes bad, we won't continue to taper. So let's understand that a little bit. I think the easiest way to understand that is let's do something graphically. So let's see here. How can we do this? How about, here we go. So this is my graphic on what I think is happening in the market, right? So we had this expected curve of inflation in red. And then we have in green the current and expected path of inflation, showing you that inflation has been higher for longer. Then we have what potentially Delta could do. And see, Delta, I've mentioned this before, Delta could lead to deflation, temporary deflation, which is this purple line going down. And what Kaplan here is saying is, well, if we have that deflation occur, then maybe what we need to do is we need to print more money longer to minimize this and basically try to curb that deflation, do something like this, right? By doing so, though, they're injecting more money into the markets, and it makes you wonder if they inject money in to prop up deflation over here, and maybe we do have that sort of deflationary curve that looks like this. It's a little bit better. It's propped up. Does that mean we're going to see more inflation up here in that longer run, right? So that's really what we're facing here is this concern over it all relates back to inflation. And this talk about taper is this temporary stimulus where potentially we could see lower inflation or deflation, while at the same time more money in the market. And I think the market is being very short term right now because the market is very uncertain about the longer term. So it's easier for the market to go, oh, you're saying we might have some more green for another like 3 or 4 months? Okay, yeah, sign me up. So it's almost like the market is being so super short term, like 3 to 4 month outlook here, because there's so much confusion about China, when are rates going to go up, the supply chain issues, the port constraints, right? And Delta is basically trying to get people to line up here to prepare for a potential COVID winter again. So this talk about maybe not tapering as soon is, first of all, like a U-turn from the aggressiveness we've heard over the last few weeks. So we're going to taper soon, and we're probably going to taper faster and quicker than we thought. And now we're U-turning to, well, but if Delta comes back, maybe we need to chillax a little bit. In fact, take a look at this. We go to look at the 10-year Treasury yield right now, which is it's sort of our tell of what's going on with people's expectations on inflation. We can see the 10-year bumped up a little bit today. Not much. It went from 1.24 to 1.55. But that movement up is maybe a little bit of a tell that now the bond market's going, oh, well, if we're not going to taper as soon, maybe that does mean we're going to have a little bit of a longer, inflationary pressure, and maybe 10 years need to push up again. Really interesting. What's this? Quick link to the Fed taper plan. The Fed's plan to taper support is just one of several hurdles for the bond market. Let's take a look into this. Here's just a CNBC Pro article touching on this as well. Federal Reserve's plans to start exiting its easy money programs this year poses potentially the most serious of several challenges the bond market faces. Okay, talk about yields, maybe stopping the taper. Additionally, continued inflation pressures also threaten to push yields higher. Right, we know this. Tougher road ahead. Okay, it's complications in terms of exactly how we're going to taper or what we're going to do. This seems to be a little bit more of a nuanced article in terms of the workings of the bond market rather than what we just talked about, which is a little bit more broad. So this is interesting. This I think is very interesting, and it's something that's worth paying attention to. So this is why I don't love looking at the minutes, because the minutes are old. They're like 6 weeks old or a month old. So this new shift of, hey, if Delta gets worse, we're not going to taper, is potentially going to shift and create this new shift. In fact, I'm going to put it in here so we have it. I'm going to put it in here as this little orange shift. If we get the taper to continue, maybe deflation then doesn't come in as much as expected, but we see inflation actually come back a little higher than expected. And so this would be taper delay, we'll call it. A taper delay due to Delta. Due to Delta. Hey, look, we just put a triangle because triangle stands for Delta. Anyway, interesting shift by the Fed, worth paying attention to. So thanks for hearing me out on that one. Okay, now let's see what we got here into questions. I picture the sound of a Marine in StarCraft. That's the stuff. That's funny. So $2. Do you ignore super chats on purpose? No, why would you say that? Like, that's like assuming that I'm like looking at somebody donating money to the channel and then going, haha, screw you, I'm getting no. But if I'm in the middle of explaining something, what do you expect? Me to be able to like mind read that people are chatting stuff? Like, just wait for me to finish yapping, at least on a specific topic. Stimmies, do you mean governmental passive income? So yeah. So this $5 question here on immigration, though, I would ask that in the governor live stream, right? I do want to keep things separate, so that way when we do governor Q&A stuff, I can talk about just California stuff, and I don't talk stocks there. Whereas here we can just talk like stocks on the market. So 55K Bitcoin Monday 4 a.m. Well, I don't know what makes you excited about Monday 4 a.m. But look, we're right now we are in an uptrend on cryptocurrencies. Let's take a peek. Oops, that's the wrong button. Quick reminder, two things. One, I'm going to be at a lot of those rally locations this weekend, so highly encourage you to, if you are in either Los Angeles tonight, San Francisco, Sacramento, Fresno, Bakersfield, Venice, Newport, or San Diego, take a look at the list here. If you can, RSVP by going to meetkevin.com. Click these buttons here and RSVP just so we know how much merch to bring, because we want to just give away some stuff. Then what would be awesome would be you going to metkevin.com/public to get yourself a free stock that's worth all the way up to $70. Okay, so where were we here? Let's go ahead and look at crypto for a moment. Crypto's been very interesting. You know, the sell-off a couple days ago, I didn't really understand why we were selling off, but now we're rallying again. This is actually a strong rally right now. Let's go to the hour chart. Yeah, look at that. We had another pump. We broke that resistance line at 47,000. That's a very nice break. This is good. I think this could push us nicely higher. This is very good. Good job, BTC. Let's go to ETH. We got Ethereum at 32.53. Ethereum kind of lagging a little bit here. Not doing as incredible as I think BTC right now, and certainly nothing's holding a candle to ADA. ADA right now at 248, did come off a high of 258. I would love to see some downward pressure on some of these, but then again, you know, you could be waiting for a while, waiting for a dip, just because the overall trend right now is pretty dang positive for cryptos. Let's see here. We've got let's see. Okay, so we've got Tesla at 680. Tesla ended. How did Tesla end today? It must be a little up today. Let's see here. Tesla was only up 1% today. Uber. Okay, how did things? What was the loser? Snowflake, right? Snowflake and Robinhood. Yeah, Snowflake and Robinhood had the pain today. There's Lion Electric getting hurt and beat up a little bit. American Airlines, very good food company. Lucid. Okay. And then we have Hut 8 Mining here. Yeah, I mean, look, these are great moves. I cannot handle the NVIDIA rally. It blows my mind. But let's also do one look here again at Redfin. Yeah. Okay, Redfin did push into the close, which good for Redfin. Redfin now at, let's see here. Redfin. Here we go. Redfin up 3.57% today to 47.57. And Win, another laggard, is sitting at down about 0.43% today. Okay, so let's see. Hood should be a crypto play now, right? Crypto's a roller coaster, always up and down. Yeah, no kidding, always up and down. But we're on that uptrend right now. Double your money in crypto are good. Yep, I agree. I think smart contracts in Cardano is a big deal. Q1 2022 could be bloody. Earnings plus inflation plus Delta. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Q1 earnings will come out in like April. Oh my gosh. I just really hope we're over Delta by April. It'd be crazy. Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, hey, I think we've pretty much covered this market for right now. So let's go ahead and catch up. Obviously, I'll be posting videos probably later today and then for the weekend. So stay tuned for those. Meet me in person. Use Jack's coupon code, Jack's birthday, August 31st. Pricing will go up. And appreciate y'all being here. Check out the links down below for public as well and that coupon code. Join me at those meetups this weekend. And we'll see you soon. Thanks.